The Battle of Ivry, fought on March 14, 1590, was a decisive engagement in the French Wars of Religion, a conflict between Catholic and Protestant factions that had been ravaging France for decades. The battle pitted the forces of Henry IV of France, the Huguenot king who was still struggling to secure his throne, against the Catholic League, led by Charles, Duke of Mayenne. Henry IV had been declared king in 1589 following the assassination of Henry III, but his Protestant faith made his rule contentious, especially among Catholic nobles and foreign Catholic powers like Spain and the Papacy, which refused to recognize his legitimacy. The Catholic League, backed by Philip II of Spain, sought to prevent Henry from securing control over France, supporting an alternative candidate for the throne. The battle took place near Ivry, in Normandy, where Henry's forces, numbering around 12,000 men, faced Mayenne's larger army of approximately 16,000 troops. Henry's forces were a mix of French royalist troops, Huguenot soldiers, German and Swiss mercenaries, and battle-hardened cavalry, while Mayenne commanded a force composed of Catholic nobles, Spanish and Italian mercenaries, and troops from the Spanish Netherlands. Despite being outnumbered, Henry's army was better disciplined and strategically positioned. Before the battle, Henry IV gave a stirring speech to his troops, urging them to fight bravely and follow his white plume, a personal emblem he wore on his helmet, as a rallying point. His famous words, "If you lose your standards, rally to my white plume, you will always find it on the path to honor and victory," became legendary. As the battle commenced, Mayenne's forces launched a strong initial attack, with his cavalry attempting to break Henry's lines. However, Henry had positioned his troops effectively, with his cavalry divided into well-coordinated squadrons, supported by infantry formations. The Catholic League's initial cavalry charge met stiff resistance from Henry's forces, particularly his elite cavalry, the companies d'ordonnance, who countercharged with exceptional discipline. The battle soon turned into a chaotic melee, with cavalry clashes dominating the field. Henry himself fought in the thick of combat, leading his troops with remarkable personal bravery, which further inspired his soldiers. A turning point came when Henry's cavalry, under the command of the skilled Marshal François de la Noue and the experienced Duke of Mayenne, executed a decisive flanking maneuver, striking the League's forces from the side. This sudden and well-coordinated attack threw Mayenne's troops into confusion, disrupting their lines. Seeing the disarray, Henry ordered a general assault, pressing his advantage. The Catholic League's army, despite its numerical superiority, began to falter. Morale collapsed as panic spread among the troops, and soon, a full-scale rout ensued. Mayenne himself barely escaped the battlefield, while thousands of his soldiers were either killed or captured. The remnants of his army scattered, some retreating towards Paris, others surrendering or deserting entirely. Henry IV's triumph at Ivry was not just a battlefield victory but a political and psychological one. It reinforced his legitimacy as king and demonstrated his military prowess. Although he had won a crucial battle, his struggle was not yet over. The Catholic League, still holding Paris with Spanish support, remained a formidable obstacle. Nevertheless, the battle marked a turning point in Henry's campaign to unify France. Over the next few years, he would continue to fight for control of his kingdom, eventually realizing that converting to Catholicism was the only way to fully secure his reign. In 1593, he famously declared, "Paris is well worth a mass," converted to Catholicism, and was crowned king in 1594, bringing an end to much of the civil strife. The Battle of Ivry thus stands as one of the most defining moments of Henry IV's struggle for the throne, showcasing his leadership, tactical brilliance, and his ability to inspire loyalty among his troops.